In the quaint, sun-soaked town of Riverbend, time seemed to flow slower than the river itself. The town was known for its warm, friendly community and timeless traditions. Amidst this serenity lived Eleanor Ellie Hartwell, a 32-year-old elementary school teacher known for her kind heart and a smile that could light up any room. Ellie had been married to Howard Howie Hartwell, a dependable accountant, for 6 years. They were the picture of perfection, at least on the outside. But beneath the surface of their marriage lay a quiet yearning. Ellie often felt a void, a space that neither Howie's steady nature nor their idyllic life in Riverbend could fill. She yearned for excitement, passion, and a connection that would ignite her soul. One fateful afternoon, Ellie attended a local art exhibition at the Riverbend Cultural Center. The event was buzzing with energy, showcasing works from local artists. Among the crowd, Ellie's eyes were drawn to a striking man standing near a painting of a stormy coastline. His name was Franklin "Frank" Pierce, a 40-year-old artist whose enigmatic aura set him apart. His piercing blue eyes seemed to look into Ellie's very soul, and his rugged handsomeness was magnetic. As Ellie approached the painting, Frank turned to her and said, "What do you see in it?" "A storm," she replied, her voice almost a whisper, but also a sense of hope. "The light breaking through the clouds is breathtaking." Frank smiled. "You've captured its essence perfectly." From that moment, an undeniable connection sparked between them. They spent hours talking, sharing stories about their lives. Ellie learned that Frank had recently moved to Riverbend, seeking inspiration after a painful divorce. Frank, in turn, was captivated by Ellie's warmth and curiosity. Their meetings became frequent under the guise of art lessons. Frank taught Ellie how to paint, and in the process, they unveiled parts of themselves they had hidden even from their closest confidants. Frank's studio, tucked away on the edge of town, became their secret haven. Ellie found herself painting her deepest emotions, pouring her heart onto the canvas. In Frank, she found the passion she had been longing for. As the weeks turned into months, their connection deepened. One rainy evening, as they worked side by side, Frank placed his hand over Ellie's, guiding her brush. The touch lingered, and their eyes met. The air between them was charged, and before they could stop themselves, they shared a kiss that changed everything. But guilt was a shadow that loomed over Ellie. She loved Howie in her own way, and the thought of betraying him tore her apart. Yet, she couldn't deny the feelings she had for Frank. Torn between her marriage and her newfound passion, Ellie's life spiraled into a whirlwind of emotions. Meanwhile, Howie began to notice changes in Ellie. She was more distant, often lost in thought. He tried to bridge the growing gap, planning surprise dinners and weekend getaways, but Ellie's heart was elsewhere. One evening, Howie discovered a half-finished painting hidden in their attic. It was of a stormy coastline, eerily similar to one Ellie had described from the art exhibition. The signature in the corner read, "F. Pierce." Suspicion gnawed at Howie, and he decided to investigate further. Hiring a private investigator, Howie soon uncovered the truth. The betrayal hit him like a tidal wave, leaving him devastated. But instead of confronting Ellie immediately, Howie hatched a plan. He wanted her to face the consequences of her choices. One evening, Howie invited Ellie to dinner at a new restaurant on the outskirts of town. Unbeknownst to her, he had also invited Frank. When Ellie walked into the dimly lit restaurant and saw Frank sitting across from Howie, her heart stopped. The confrontation was tense, filled with anger, tears, and raw emotions. Howie's voice cracked as he said, "I gave you everything, Ellie. Why wasn't it enough?" Ellie's voice trembled. "It's not about you, Howie. I felt lost for so long. Frank. He made me feel alive again." Frank interjected, "This isn't how I wanted things to happen, Howie. I'm sorry." But Howie wasn't interested in apologies. He stormed out, leaving Ellie and Frank to pick up the pieces. In the weeks that followed, Ellie tried to salvage her marriage. But Howie's trust had been shattered. Their once perfect life was now irreparably fractured. Just as Ellie decided to leave Howie and start anew with Frank, the story took a shocking twist. Frank's ex-wife, Margaret, returned to Riverbend with startling revelations. She accused Frank of having a pattern, charming vulnerable women and then abandoning them when they needed him most. Margaret's words planted seeds of doubt in Ellie's mind. As Ellie delved deeper into Frank's past, she uncovered a trail of broken hearts and shattered dreams. The man she thought she loved was not who he seemed. Heartbroken and disillusioned, Ellie ended her affair with Frank. In the aftermath, Ellie sought therapy to understand her choices and heal from the emotional wreckage. Howie, too, began his own journey of self-discovery. While their marriage couldn't be salvaged, they parted ways amicably, wishing each other happiness. Ellie moved away from Riverbend, starting fresh in a bustling city where no one knew her story. She dedicated herself to teaching and painting, finding solace in her art. Over time, she learned to embrace her flaws and live authentically, knowing that true love begins with self-love. And so, amidst the heartbreak and betrayal, Ellie found a silver lining. Her story became a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of self-discovery.